Hello, I'm making this video to provide you with information about shoulder surgery recovery. I had shoulder surgery 7 weeks ago and I spent 6 weeks in a sling, so I've just gotten rid of this sling, which I had like this for 6 weeks, immobilizing my arm and shoulder, and happily now I can get rid of it. So um, my shoulder itself, visually, it's more or less healed. There's a slight incision here and holes around where the arthroscopy was done. But physically, it's not back to normal yet, and it will take a fairly long time to do so. I had some shoulder problems on my right shoulder that were not so debilitating that they were noticeable, but as time went on, they became really a little bit worse and worse, but not so painful that they caused any problems. But I did have a bicycle accident where I landed on my hand like so, and as a result, the supraspinatus and the infraspinatus in my shoulder tore and had to be reattached. The tendon tore from the muscle and had to be reattached. So surgery was finally needed, and hopefully some of the other pain or injuries that were there apparent will be fixed as well once the shoulder is healed. The recovery is slow. The repair was quite extensive according to the doctor, and to be honest, I felt some pain, not very much, for 3 days after the surgery. I took some Panadol, and after that, really no pain unless I happened to move my arm or shoulder too much, in which case I would feel some pain, but the sling was there to keep it immobile. So the doctor recommended no physiotherapy until now, 6 weeks later, and that will depend on the doctor. That will depend on the extent of the repair. Mine was fairly extensive, so I've started the physiotherapy, and right now the physiotherapy is passive movements. That is, the arm is raised like with another arm or some type of device where the muscle is not being used. Now, after some time, probably my next session, which is the third session, I will have exercises where I will use the muscle in the therapy. But the physiotherapist was doing a lot of movement where the shoulder is moved around and kind of exercised a bit just for the movement, as I spent 6 weeks in a sling, and there's probably a little bit of atrophy built up as a result. The movement of my arm is increasing more and more, and as an example, just after surgery, I could barely reach my face to wash it or shave, and I definitely could not floss my teeth because I could not get my arm up high enough to do the flossing. But eventually it got better and better, and I could get to the point where I could wash my hair with 2 hands instead of 1, for whatever use that provides you. Now, at this point in the recovery, the movement is supposed to become exponentially more, so I'm looking forward to that. However, I've been told your mind is stronger than your body as far as the will, so not to move your shoulder too much or your arm too much to begin with. So essentially you want to move it enough but not too much, so you stay in the window of recovery where it's optimum. I like to consider myself active in sports, and so right after the surgery, within a couple days, I was on the exercise bike, and I was also on the elliptical machine, but I was holding on to the bars. I wasn't doing the movement with my arms, and I also was using the stepper as well. Also, I was swimming with just one arm. I would do the one-arm crawl with the swim. I keep my right arm tucked into my body, and I guess I hope it taught me to kick a little bit more than I was before in my swim, which we as amateur swimmers, I guess we neglect. Um, After 6 weeks seeing the doctor, he said recovery was a little bit behind schedule. I should have my arm at 90 degrees, and it was not quite there. It was probably 70 degrees. So I was a little bit behind in that regard, but both he and the physical therapist did emphasize a good posture for the proper recovery of the shoulder. Um, so again, after 6 weeks, the doctor said some light running and biking was okay. So when I do go running, I hold my shirt with my right arm to keep it immobilized, so I'm not doing the natural swinging motion with my right arm, just to be safe about it and to hopefully prevent any possible injury or further injury. Um, as far as biking goes, he said that was okay, just don't overdo it. And so what I did was I used my mountain bike where I'm more or less upright, and I went on a flat surface so I don't have too much jarring of the body. Now, bear in mind, I'm no medical expert, but I do consider inactivity the worst part of any recovery. So I'm hoping to get that back real soon, more and more so. And I hope this has given you a good idea of what to expect in the recovery and has provided some useful tips. All the best. Thank you.